Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Cabot and we are doing more cooking companions. So if you're appreciating the moderately more than mediocre content, do me a favor, take the like button, send them off to drown, then take the subscribe button and hang them from the roof. Alright, with that being done, let's get started. Alright, so Anatoly looks like he's blushing as he walks away. You're definitely sure Anatoly will remember that. Oh boy. Yay! You get ready for bed and put a blanket on. You go to the bed very hungry. To bed very hungry. Excuse me? I was just a baby pterodactyl hiccup. You don't dream the entire night, but you sleep through everyone waking up.
And that's how fast a deer could run if startled.
Whoa!
Incredible.
Impressive.
I wish we had a deer here. With the food getting lower, let's just skip today's meal.
No!
It's only for one day. Various cultures and religions have practiced fasting throughout history.
That doesn't make us feel any better, Anatoly.
What options do we have? Our food wasn't rationed properly.
Anatoly leaves, mumbling to himself. So passive-aggressive of him. Oh. Everyone goes to a separate area. Corinne in the bedroom, Gregor in the living room, Mariah in the kitchen, and Anatoly in the bathroom. Who do you want to speak to? Ooh! That looks like a good spot to save! Alright. Back to game. Let's speak with Corinne. Looks like she's just slicing away at a block of wood. Hey, can I let you in on a secret? I've actually enjoyed your cooking so far. The others expect me to be rude and mean. So I have to keep that reputation up, right? Can't have anyone thinking I'm soft. You're not sure where this is coming from. Promise me you'll give me some cooking lessons soon. Okay? She's not ready yet, but you nod politely. Thank you. You're definitely sure Corinne will remember that.
Our relationship is stronger.
You leave Corinne by herself. Okay, we're going to save. So we spoke to Corinne. We're going to load you. Who do you want to speak to? Let's chat with Gregor. You destroy my throat. Hey! There are plenty of blankets around, but I never need one. I generate enough heat for the entire cabin. Most of these blankets are pretty thick and heavy. One's mostly used for winter. Why are these out during the summer? You shrug. To be honest, I'm feeling a little guilty about eating all the food that first couple days. This should be over soon, right? You nod in agreement. Ha! Great. Thanks again for everything. Gregor will remember that. Yay, our relationship is stronger. You leave Gregor to go mill around the cabin for a while. And then we're going to save game. And we're going to load. Yeah. Let's talk with Mariah.
Oh! I didn't hear you coming. I was just double checking if there was any food we might have missed. But I couldn't get the drawer open. Could you give it a try?
You nod.
Great! While you do that, I'm gonna go get some more reading done.
You think Mariah will remember that? Yay!
Later!
You give the drawer a hard yank open.
Hello! Is the thunderstorm keeping you up at night?
You just need to roll with it. Raspberry whispers so quietly you lean over to listen to her.
I need to talk soon. Please listen to me when the time comes. Anyways, please don't let the others see us. That's right, Raspberry. Part of being a chompette is secrecy. I wouldn't want those humans to overhear our meetings, now would we?
You shake your head.
Good. Chompettes, roll on up.
You shut the drawer. I feel like they're trying really hard not to have a copyright issue. Alright, so now we're going to load. Oh, Hin. I have a bird on top of my microphone, and she's just preening away. Converse with Anatoly.
Ah! I'm done using the bathroom. Sorry, it must have been daydreaming.
Anatoly looks at you oddly.
Do you ever daydream?
This is not Karen, so we're gonna go with you, Bet.
Ah, of course. It's a natural way to fill in gaps of boredom. And what do you daydream about? Cooking?
You nod.
Yeah, I thought so. I can tell that you have a history with cooking. So,
You can tell Anatoly is struggling with small talk.
what's the best thing you've ever cooked?
Children. Let's say a feast fit for a queen.
A royal feast, eh? Wonder who it was for. You'll have to tell me sometime, okay?
Anatoly is looking at you dreamily. He will definitely remember that. Yay!
Later.
You decide to head back to the others. Everyone looks pretty down this evening.
I wish the rain would stop. You're all doing great. We must be almost at the end of this nightmare.
I'm so hungry.
Me too.
You are too. You wish everyone a good night and get ready for bed. So, weird question. Where does my character sleep? Because there's... the couch is taken. The rocking chair's taken. The beds are taken. Where do I sleep? Do I sleep in the bathroom? Do I sleep in the tub? You go to bed with a growling stomach. You have a strange dream. A boy is yelling at you in the kitchen. You keep telling him to lie down on the tray, but he keeps shaking his head, calling you names, so you do it. You lie down on the tray and make your body as flat as a board. You show him how it's done. His anger turns to courage, and he pushes you into the oven. As the stench of burning hair fills your lungs, you see him staring back at you. You wake in a cold sweat. Oh! Oh, that was fun. That was a fun image. Yeah. Oh, boy. Everyone seems to be sleeping in later than normal. That's pretty typical for people who are not eating. Their stomachs must have kept them awake all night. No, that's just your body turning to itself for food. And since, you know, resting conserves conserves energy, that's what they're going to do. It sucks, but yeah. The rain is still pouring outside. You can barely make out the trees from the windows. You hear a stirring of blankets, arms, and legs. Mariah looks petrified.
Hi. I couldn't sleep.
Anatoly has bags under his eyes.
The storm is too loud.
Corinne looks out of it. The cabin was creaking so much last night. It sounded alive. Gregor looks a little gaunt. I got a good look out the window.
And?
Couldn't see anything due to the rain. Great observation, Gregor. I was so hungry last night, I kept pacing around my bed. Karen turns to you. When is this going to end?
I checked outside the door again. Floodwaters kept rising. Unfortunately, we're going to need to stay put unless one of us wants to drown in rainwater.
As soon as the weather lets up, we'll be able to scavenge for supplies. How close is the nearest town?
I don't know.
Didn't you have a map on you?
I think I dropped it while we were running after Gregor.
I'm sure it'll show up eventually. Me and those fucking marmots. Mariah and Anatoly go white as a sheet. How are we going to find our way back now?
We'll have to ride out the storm.
Mariah looks at you.
We're down to our last slice of bread. I don't know how much longer we can put off eating.
The group stares at you.
It'll clear up in no time.
Maybe you're right.
There is a squirrel on your shoulder. Eat the fucking squirrel. Group looks worried. They all gravitate to an area. Oh, they're all angry and grumpy, and I would be too if I'm entirely honest. I get hangry pretty damn quick. You can tell Gregor's putting on a fake optimism, and Mariah is having trouble. Which one do you want to speak with today? Whoop. Sav Gum. Alright, let's talk with Gregor.
Oh, hey. I know you already searched the kitchen, but I had to double check.
A fool's errand.
I wish everyone was in better spirits. It can't rain forever, right?
Rainfall in this area can last days to weeks. You tell Gregor to stay strong.
You know what? Thank you. The group is really thankful for your kindness.
Gregor blushes a little bit.
I always wanted to be the one that kept everyone in good spirits. But it's obvious you do that much better.
Gregor is looking at you fondly. You're sure Gregor will remember that? I'll remember that. Yay! The rain is pounding hard against the wooden cabin, but at least none of it is getting inside. You tell Gregor to keep his spirits up and join the others. Let's talk to Mariah.
Brr! It's cold as hell over here. I'm surprised Gregor isn't freezing to death at night. How does he do it?
You explain to Mariah how the size of a person and fat content determine how warm they are naturally.
Yeah! Wish I was as big as Gregor. But to be honest, I don't need to be that tall to make a difference in the world. Do you know what he wanted to do for a career?
Mariah does her best Gregor impression.
Split fire while you gaze at the stars. How boring is that?
Depends on the person, but pretty boring.
You're so funny. Thanks for coming in and chatting with me.
Mariah blushes a little.
You make it easier to pass the time. Thank you.
You're pretty sure Mariah will remember that. Yay! You thank her and leave the bedroom. That's not a bedroom. You call everyone together. They all look grim. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife. Everyone is staring at you. They're expecting that last piece of bread for dinner. You bring it out. Everyone cannot take their eyes off it. You instruct everyone to take a pinch. And slowly all 5 of you tear it apart like a wishbone. Everyone studies their piece of bread carefully, wondering how long it will last. Corinne is the first to eat hers. She chews each bite a few hundred times before swallowing. Anatoly chews it cautiously. And his eyes are still fucking weird, opening his mouth once he finishes each bite. Mariah nibbles on it silently, eyes wide, moving from person to person. And Gregor just pops it in his mouth like a cherry.
It was gone in an instant. The group thanks you awkwardly. It's not much, but you've run out of options. You wish everyone good night and get ready for bed. You go to bed starving. Oh dear.
Good morning.
Morning.
Let me check if the rain stopped. It's still flooding.
What are we going to do?
I mean, humans can live about 2 to 3 weeks without food. Water isn't a concern.
Rainfall should end in a day or two, right?
Actually, the precipitation can occur more than 15 days a year here. Do you really think it'll rain that long?
Anatoly, it's been days already. What makes you think it'll stop soon?
Oh!
Relax, everyone. Let's see how long we can ride this out. Fingers crossed it's done by tomorrow.
Panic is slowly creeping in. Perfectly good food source on Anatoly's shoulder. You can make a stew out of him. Everyone's looking scared, but you need to survive. Corinne and Gregor begin to discuss next options. Do you want to speak with Mariah in the kitchen or Anatoly in the living room? Save game for... Here we are on day 6. Think instead about everything you've done wrong and how you've doomed everyone. Could you have rationed the supplies better? You crunch the numbers one more time. You could have reduced the amount of vegetables in the stew, but it was their first day. You had to impress them. Was there anything you could have done differently? Probably not. Mariah, Anatoly, Gregor, Corinne, you wonder if they're upset with you. Gregor calls the group over for a meeting. Save game. Alright. So that's pondering how you've doomed everybody. Yes. Let's speak with Mariah. Cats.
Hey.
Mariah looks relieved to see you. Aw, yay.
How are you holding up?
Better question, how are you holding up?
Not very good. That's very sweet of you to ask.
Mariah's looking at you intently. She gets a little closer to you.
I noticed you didn't use any meat when cooking. Usually I have to pick it out of the foods the others make. But you respected that. Thank you.
Mariah is looking at you with admiration.
I need to speak with Gregor for a minute, but thanks again.
You're definitely sure Mariah will remember that. Aw, yay! You decide to check out the drawer again. You ask Potato where the others are. They'll be back. They wanted to explore the labyrinth of tunnels around the cabin. Surely you've seen the mouse holes, right? They connect all over the cabin. Must have been some mouse that created them or something worse. Anyways, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Things are going to get worse from here on out. You have a feeling Potato is telling the truth. You realize some drool is leaking out of your mouth. Disgusting. Don't even try to eat me. Oh no! You'd just get deathly sick if you tried, and from the look of you, you need to retain all the water you can. From rationing to cooking, you've failed every common sense measure for basic survival this week. You knew something like this would happen, right? Never mind. With floodwaters rising and no food now, I think it'd be a great time to go over the fundamentals of starvation with you. When experiencing starvation, there are 4 factors to determine if you will live or die. Age, height, weight, and your degree of activity or inactivity. You've been especially lazy, so I think you'll survive a little longer than the others. The Harris-Benedict equation can help you figure out how many calories you need to simply maintain your current weight. The equation produces a number called basal metabolic rate. Stay with me here. BMR equals 655 plus 4.35 times weight in pounds plus 4.7 times height in inches minus 4.7 times age in years. Got it? For fun, let's try it on someone here, Mariah. Using Harris Benedict, she looks like she's 120 pounds, about 5 feet 5 inches tall, about 20 years old. Crunching the numbers, I think she'd need about 1,388 calories daily. But that's being abnormally stationary. She'd have to lay in bed all day and night just eating, breathing, and using her brain. Not very common when you're starving to death. People tend to get up more. She was being very active, let's say swimming through floodwaters. We need to multiply that 1,388 calories times 1.9. So now she needs 2,638 calories per day. That's quite the difference, especially if you didn't ration the food properly. Which you didn't. I guess that wraps up our first survival lesson. Hopefully we'll never have to speak again. Okay? You shut the drawer, going over the numbers again. Oops! Alright, well that was morbid. Talk with Anatoly. Anatoly's still paging through the book.
Hey, you really should have been more careful with our emergency supplies. What were you thinking?
I'm sorry.
Apology accepted. Who could have predicted this much rain? Your sweetest pound cake, thank you. I'll have to teach you that vegetable stew recipe when all this is over.
You're sure Anatoly will remember that? Yay!
This book is a great distraction. Very well written. Oh!
You get the hint and leave Anatoly to himself. Oh dear. Alright, so we're gonna save game here. And then we're actually gonna load from here because I wanna finish the Mariah arc.
I don't think any of us can take this much longer.
Gregor's voice starts to crack.
I don't want to ask this, but it's time. One of us needs to go outside and search for food.
Everyone is silent.
I'll go. But Mariah, you can't go. I still want to bone you. With my squirrel. I used to swim all the time near my house. So I probably have the best chance of swimming through floodwaters. No! Let me go instead.
You won't get very far if anything happens to your glasses, Anatoly.
You're blind as a mole rat, remember?
That's true, but...
Little guy, let me go.
Gregor,
Sounds good to me.
Come in.
His arms are definitely the longest. He's probably best at climbing trees out of all of us.
No, that wouldn't be right. Gregor, let me go instead.
I get that none of these options are good ones, but we need to find food or help.
Gregor grabs a branch from the woodpile. He cuts it into different measurements.
Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We'll each pick one from my hand. And the shortest will go outside to search for food.
You're not worried about drawing. You saw Gregor cut the branch length, so you can tell which is the biggest of the bunch. You pick it. You watch the others intently. Will it be Gregor? Anatoly? Corinne? Will it be
Looks like I've got the shortest. Mariah.
Mariah.
It's okay. I watched Anatoly forage earlier, so I'll know what to look out for.
Just swim until you find higher ground, then scout the area.
Maybe you'll find a fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken.
Corinne, Anatoly, Gregor, I'll keep us alive. I promise.
Uh-oh. She promised. Everyone watches as Mariah leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening.
Goodbye.
The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is, and then silence. Oh! Okay. Bye, Mariah. I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up, waiting and waiting. The sun has completely set. One by one, each person shuffles off to bed. You get ready for bed and easily pass out. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize, and the other is a guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel, and then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong you can't get her into the oven. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking in the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders, and both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair causes you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods. Your burns chill with the wind. The guest looks behind her, and her eyes widen as she sees you. She's terrified. Your fury rips the trees out of their roots, soil from the ground, and rocks from the pits. You've never been this angry in your entire life. Their stamina can't last forever. You're gaining on them. As you trample through a field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch the glint of it in the sun, golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall into the pit, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake in a cold sweat. Oh, that was fun. All right, 1 week through.
Good morning. Do you think she made it to higher ground?
I believe in Mariah.
Me too.
She'll be fine. Right, little guy?
Wait, where's the squirrel? Did Anatoly eat his squirrel? So what do we do now? Just wait?
Oh, Corinne.
How long? It's been almost a day since she left. Anatoly and Gregor look nervous. Someone needs to go look for her.
We need to wait, Corinne.
Wait for what?
The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now.
So it could be days before she gets back? What are we supposed to eat? Mice?
Corinne, I'm sure Anatoly will agree, but we'll discuss next options when we get to it. Every waking thought is about food now. I never should have eaten that much.
Corinne's hands are involuntarily shaking. She pops her boobs out further. Gregor and Anatoly just nod in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. You're sure Mariah will make it back? She promised. Everyone retreats to their areas. Well, what do we want to do today? Sounds like a good place to save. Wow, we're just cruising through the days now. Let's speak with Anatoly. Anatoly. Toly. Hey, Toly, how's it going?
Hey. The kitchen definitely doesn't feel the same without Mariah. Her laugh, her smile. The fact that I didn't get to bone her. I never got to tell her how I felt about her. She'll be back, right?
You nod.
Yeah. I wish we had rationed better.
You decide to distract Anatoly from his misery with an old story. There was once a villager who had to stock up supplies for the winter. He filled his house with a cow, a sack of grains from a field, and 92 buckets of water, mostly for the cow. He quickly ran out of room as the house wasn't very big. One day the villager grew sick. He knew he needed the life-giving milk from the cow to survive the winter, but when he attempted to milk the cow, his grip was too weak to grasp her udders. In desperation, he began to boil the grains using his buckets of water. The cow cried for food, but the villager could only afford to feed himself. Each night, the cries of the cow kept him awake until one day he finally ran out of food. The villager crawled into bed, crying as the snow deepened outside. The cow's sad eyes stared at him. He wanted to comfort the cow, but he couldn't step over the buckets. He was too weak, too sick. The last thing he heard was the cow still crying out for food. One haunting noise to end his life. Anatoly looks horrified with your story. I am too. You leave him alone in the kitchen. Well, that did not strengthen the relationship any. Alright, so we're gonna save. No, I don't want to overwrite the save. I want to load. Yes. Let's talk with Corinne. Maybe she's a little cheerier to talk to. Hey, you don't have to lie to me. I know Mariah's not coming back. I don't know where she came up with her being the best swimmer. I guess the only one that would know would be Anatoly. Last summer, Anatoly would watch her swim from the shore. He could have been a lifeguard. Such a good swimmer. She never went under, but what if she did? He would have pulled her out easily. Why would she lie about something like that? Corinne seems deep in thought. Maybe it's better to leave her alone. Close the door softly. Alright, and then save. That was fast. Load. Gregor. Gregor seems to be coping through knitting.
Thanks for keeping everyone's spirits high. I know it's what Mariah would have wanted. Don't you think? Have you heard the noises? Sometimes I think I hear Mariah outside, saying something I can't make out. It comes out in gasps, like she's trying to clear water from her throat. Other times, I can hear her crying. I never heard Mariah cry. Have you heard Mariah at night?
Sure.
So it's not only me. Let's keep this as a secret between us, okay? I wouldn't want to frighten the others.
You nod.
Thanks.
Gregor will remember that. You leave him to ponder Mariah's fate.
Ian.
I can't stop thinking about that vegetable stew.
I'd be fine with the bread and jam.
I'd be fine with just the strawberries.
Nobody else laughs.
Oh, I would kill for some vegetables right about now.
You would too.
I'm gonna try and get some sleep.
Good night.
Night.
You fall asleep quickly, but you only dream about desecrating a corpse. You wake in a cold sweat in a completely different room. Oh! Desecrating corpses, waking up in different rooms. Did we even fall asleep in a room? Because it never says where we actually fall asleep. Good morning. Corinne's looking worse. Will you cook for the group today? Well, we only got one option. You take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook it in the oven.
You cooked meat.
Where did you get that? You ignore Corinne's question.
What's that? What's that smell?
Gregor finally gets off the couch.
Where did you?
The three are looking at you, salivating. You take the charred meat out of the oven and cutting it into small cutlets. They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. You take a piece and immediately devour it. Do you have any more of this? You explain how the meat is stored securely, hidden, so you can ration better this time. I understand.
Thank you.
Anatoly runs to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes.
Oh God, I'll never get to bone her now.
This taste is... Gregor wanders off. Anatoly returns, looking choked up.
I was too weak.
Left you some of the meat. Don't fight this, Anatoly.
Mm-hmm.
Anatoly takes a cutlet from the plate, turning his back to the group as he devours it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. Going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay?
Corinne leaves you with the men. Those damn men. God damn it.
Speak to Anatoly. You knock on the door first. Anatoly, you slowly open the door.
Thanks for checking in on me.
You ask if he still feels sick.
Not anymore. I think it was a mental thing. Please don't tell me where the meat came from. The less known, the better.
You nod.
Thank you.
You're sure Anatoly will remember that. You leave Anatoly and go tidy up some parts of the kitchen. Well, that was fun. Well, hours passed. The meal gave everyone perseverance to keep getting on, but eating will just make them hungrier. They're fine now, but soon they'll be begging for more. Okay, then let's go talk to Gregor.
Hey! Thanks for cooking the meat earlier. I was nearly passing out from the hunger pangs. Even if I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy, I appreciate the vegetarian dishes you made earlier. You really respected Mariah's boundaries.
Not anymore.
Thank you.
Gregor is more dense than you gave him credit for.
If there's extras, slip me some extra meat. Okay?
Gregor will remember that.
Going to see how Anatoly's doing. Later.
You have the bedroom all to yourself. Where do you want to check first? Under the beds. You look under both the beds. Just some dust and hair. Gross. You notice a bone sticking out. Is it a human bone? Nope, chicken bone. Gross. Ah, yes, but you can cook that up as soup stock. In the nightstand.
Onion! Don't be a crybaby, it's just me! Onion! I was just playing with some of the toys in this drawer. You're far too old to be playing with any of them. You're never too old for toys. Anyways, need to attend a secret chump-out meeting. Smell you later.
Onion bounces out of the bedroom. The drawer has various children's toys in it. What's this? That does not look like a children's toy. June 26, 1862. Another body of a child has been discovered within the city of Zakopane. Zakopane? With the remains stuffed into a barrel full of potatoes. The cause of death was identical to earlier victims, with significant blood loss due to multiple stab wounds to the stomach. This marks the fourth victim by the butcher of Zakopane in less than a month. Oh dear. You take the bloody newspaper with you. That's no bueno. Well, I only had those two options, so hours passed. The meal gave everyone the perseverance to keep going. Eating will just make them hungrier. They're fine now, but soon they'll be begging for more. We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? You calmly explain that you want to ration the meat better this time, and there will be no dinner. Fine.
I understand.
I guess I'd rather eat tomorrow than more today.
No arguments? Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. You fall asleep instantly tonight. Yay for sleeping. You have a strange dream. You're having dinner with the blacksmith. But he's not touching his food. The only light in the room comes from the oven. He clears his throat, stroking his beard. I can forge anything, he says. Your eye has been giving you issues lately, so you reply, Forge me a new eye, then. You laugh. But then the ropes come out. He ties you to your chair with a long rope to prevent you from struggling. You rip the rope apart without even trying, so the blacksmith uses a thicker rope. No turning back now. He takes a hot poker out of the coals. Holding it in front of his face, you can see his beard and eyes watching you. His beard is watching you? He slowly brings back the poker, aiming carefully at your eye, before plunging it through your skull with a sickening crunch. The force of the blow throws you backwards a few feet. You're unable to break the ropes. You vomit all over your chest. The smell of your decimated eye floods your nostrils. The blacksmith stands over you, spitting on your body. You wake in a cold sweat. Ooh! Thank you. Ooh, that was, woo! Quite the dream. You wake up to Gregor looking out the window. He turns to you, not smiling.
Take a look out the window. Do you notice anything?
The flood waters have receded a little bit, but everyone is still bound to the cabin.
The trail used to be completely visible. It's gone now.
Good morning, big guy.
Will Mariah make it back?
This might sound a little crazy, but every night around 2 a.m. I could hear her outside. She makes this awful gurgling noise, like she's trying to get water out of her lungs. Have you heard her, Gregor?
Sometimes when the rain gets faint, I think I can hear her whispering.
I haven't heard anything like that.
When she's whispering, it's like she's trying to tell you something, right?
Oh! Hi!
Yes.
I sometimes hear her crying through the radio. Why do you look so happy about this? But that's just a broadcast.
Right. I think we should have another piece of meat for our breakfast.
This is fun.
One step closer to Mariah. It's what she would have wanted. What's gotten into you, Anatoly?
Anatoly's eyes look at you, begging.
Bring us another slab.
Good gravy.
Please.
He clearly doesn't have the stomach for it.
I can't get the taste out of my mouth. Please help me. Anatoly.
Gregor looks pained at Anatoly's words. I think he's right. Please bring us more of the meat. You grab some of the meat from your secret hiding place, up your ass and around the corner. You cut it into squares, adding it to the boiling cauldron of water. It will taste bland without any seasoning, but you need to serve it up right away.
What's taking so long? Boil it faster. It looks almost done. Patience.
It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Gregor drinks the broth first before swallowing the chunks whole, like a duck does when he's eating bread. Anatoly creates ripples in the broth using his spoon. He isn't eating.
I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. But Mariah...
Anatoly begins to weep. You look over at Corinne. You didn't notice her even start to eat. There's just an empty bowl now. Corinne is staring at you. How much more meat is left? You explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. Ugh. How could you be so careless again? You remember Corinne's knife. You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again? The storm isn't ending. You clear your throat. Anatoly.
Yes?
I think tomorrow you should look for Mariah. Or forage for plants outside.
I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants like you. Please, Anatoly. You can swim back after a few hours.
Gregor's right, Anatoly. Maybe you'll find Mariah out there.
I think Mariah's fine by herself.
He still hasn't accepted what happened yet.
She doesn't need anyone's help.
But we need your help, Anatoly.
That's right, Anatoly. Please help us.
Let me sleep on it, okay?
No problem, little guy.
So I think they're all aware of exactly what's going on here, but no one wants to admit it. Everyone shuffles off to their rooms, reading books and knitting to pass the time. You go to bed ravenous. Mariah. Something is approaching.
Onion! Hey! Don't be a crybaby, it's just me! Onion! Not going to be very sweet today. I'm worried about Anatoly. He's going to cave to peer pressure. Can you stop him from leaving the cabin?
You don't answer, Onion.
Please? Don't you trust me?
You shake your head.
Oh, got a fun factoid for you! Did you know that leaving out an unpeeled onion in your room absorbs bacteria? It will help prevent colds and ward off viruses.
Except viruses and colds, not bacteria. So the onion does nothing. And on top of that, onions do not absorb shit from your body. The only thing they will do if you put them in your socks, because I've heard this, is if you put raw onions in your socks. First off, they'll make your feet smell even more like ass. Wash your damn toes. And second off, if it does absorb bacteria, it'll only absorb it from your skin. It doesn't actually draw anything out of the body because your skin is a barrier. Skin is a barrier. So, that's, yeah.
Onion!
Thank you!
That was a lie! The fun factoid of that myth, people actually believed it in the 1500s.
And there are people that believe it today. Fuck's sake.
How embarrassing!
Who would believe that?
Ha! There was even a doctor in 1919 who caused a surge of people believing it. Ha! Anyways, no one smells like a raw onion left in a room? Yo! It's been a while since your last bath, right?
You can't remember.
Could smell you before I even came into the room. Yikes!
I'm sorry, chicken. Am I scaring you? The chicken is leaving the microphone and going onto the monitor. Hopefully she does not try to fly because her wings are clipped. She cannot fly. She just kamikazes like all over the fucking place.
So, can you stop Anatoly from leaving? I know he has Captain Shiva, but this is ridiculous. It will be impossible to stop a grown man from leaving. Please. I don't need another one stalking the hallways, tapping on the windows, crying through the radio.
You have the sudden urge to scream.
Why do you think I've been using the mouse holes to get around? Scared to death that I'll run into her. Don't make me tattle to cabbage about you. She could be a bit of a potato if you get on her bad side. Just kidding, she's great. Anyways, when the time comes, just tell Anatoly you care about him and don't want him to leave. Even if it's for me, okay? You can trust me. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go work on some new ice skates. They're made of butter slices, so I'll get to skate around the frying pan tomorrow. Later!
A sentient onion skating around a frying pan on butter slices. When it has no feet! That sounds fantastic. I'm so confused. Your mind finally manages to forget everything that happened. You fall asleep again, still ravenous. Alright, and day 10 is actually where we're going to leave it. We will save game. There we go. See, I can't tell. Is there weird shit going on here? Or is it just... is this hallucinations? I mean, there are talking vegetables. Well, you know what your mother always taught you, never eat talking food. Anyway, with that little nugget, we're going to end it. And remember, you are loved, you are important, and you and your feelings are valid. So I hope you join me for our next part in this bizarre adventure, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye!